This is the plaintiff, William Jackson. He says he sold his car to the defendant, his former boss, and the guy stiffed him. That's right, first he gave him a check that bounced, and now he's just giving him the runaround. He's tired of all the games this guy's playing, so he's taking him here to court and is suing him for the $1,600 he's owed. This is the defendant, Stephen Rupanner. He says the plaintiff racked up a huge amount of parking tickets, and the New York City Police Department confiscated his car. The plaintiff begged him to pay for the tickets. He agreed, and the plaintiff agreed to give him the car in return. The plaintiff signed the title over to him, and now the double-crosser's suing him? Please. He's accused of trying to get a car for free.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff sold his car to his boss and the guy stiffed him. But the defendant says the plaintiff racked up parking tickets and the car was impounded. It's the case of your ticket to court.
Thank you. William Jackson, you are suing Stephen Rupanner for $1,600, the cost of a 1998 Mazda that you sold him that according to you he refuses to pay for. What happened?
Apparently, I was doing some work with him.
What kind of work?
Labor work.
Okay.
And I came to work, I drove the car to work, and at the time, it was giving me some problems. I was getting a couple of tickets.
You're giving it problems. It's not giving you problems.
Exactly.
You getting tickets is not the car giving you a problem. The car's like, don't park me here.
Yeah.
Okay. What were the tickets for? Double parking?
I got one for double park, and I had to pay that.
What were the other ones for?
The other ones were my car had got stuck. It was like an isolational day, one of those snowy days.
And you're supposed to move to the other side of the street?
Yeah,
and
I couldn't. I had to get a boost for it. Then I had to get a complete
How many
battery.
tickets had you collected?
I collected something like 4 tickets in a week, and I said, no, this is not gonna get it. So now when I drove it to work, on Riverside Drive. It was this standing post red sign. I was in regulation.
Oh, did you get more tickets?
I had got a ticket for that. But then on that day, I came back out from work and I thought somebody had stole my car. I contacted the police department. They told me my car was in Pier 76. And I said, what? And I had to pay him to get it out of the...
And you had to pay $300 and something?
$75.
Because you had to pay for the tow?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Now, when I got the car out, I had already brought the title papers to him.
What for?
To sell the car.
Well, I didn't know that. You hadn't told me that part yet.
Okay.
All right, so you decided to sell him the car when?
When I got the car out of Pier 76.
Okay, so you brought him the title work and what?
And then when I turned the car over to him, I told him I'll pay him the money back. But then I said,
wait, pay him what money back?
Anything that I borrowed from him.
What had you borrowed from him?
I was interested in getting the car back.
Okay, what had you borrowed from him?
$375.
You didn't say that. All right, so you borrowed the last $375 that you brought to them to pay them to get your car out of impound. You had borrowed from him.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what?
I told him what I had borrowed from him, that you would have to deduct it from what I'm selling him the car for.
All right, so you sell him the car.
Yes.
He pays you what?
He paid me nothing.
Okay, in your complaint you say that he gave you a check for $1,600.
Yeah, he gave me a check, and then I took that check to a cash checking place to cash it. And then it was no good. I brought it back to him and handed it to him. Okay. Then he gave me the money to get the car out of pound.
Okay. And then did you go with his $375 to get the car out of pound?
Yes, I did. I went with one of his students that accompanied him.
Okay. And you tell him what? Once you pay the tickets and got the car out, you tell him what? Where's the rest of my money?
Yes.
And he says what?
He said, "Don't worry about it. You'll get it. You just."
Yeah, but why did you sign you apparently signed the title over.
Yes, I did.
Why would you do that until you got paid for the car?
I had to give him the title.
To get the $375.
That's right. And then for every week that I worked for him, I didn't even throw that up in his face. He was undercutting me for pay.
Mr. Repaner, what's going on?
I'm completely confused by everything he's telling me. It comes down, I keep telling Mr. Jackson, listen, you keep complaining. Every week you come to do odd jobs for me. That's what he does, errands and stuff like this. He keeps telling me, Steve, I keep getting tickets all the time. I don't know what to do. So I told him, listen, sooner or later, the city's going to take your car, and they're going to impound your car, and you don't have the money. I don't know how you going to get the funds to pay for your car to get out. And surely, as I predicted, 2 weeks later, he's calling me, Steve, somebody took my car. Okay, no problem. You do always odd jobs for me. You come help around my wife at the house, errands, so on and so forth. Come over to my house. Here's your, I told him straight out, this is what we're going to agree on. Okay, I'm going to get your car out of the pound. I'm going to send Antonio with you, and obviously you have to take the title with you to get the car out, to show that you are the ownership of the car. In this case, they went together. I gave him the money. I don't even remember how much it was at this point.
375?
Okay, I could have sworn it's like 600, 500. At this point, I don't even remember. At this point, I don't remember. I cannot tell you how much it was. Whatever it was, I gave Antonio the money. When he brings the title over there.
Antonio, come up. How much money was it?
Your Honor, it was about like maybe 4 and change.
4 and change. Okay, stay
what?
there. Go ahead.
Okay, so I gave Antonio, you go with Jackson. You redeem that car. Make sure he brings the title with you. And I told Jackson, listen, what do you want to do with that car when you get out? He said, I want nothing to do with that car anymore. I'm finished with that car. That car's costing me a lot of money. Every time I work, I keep paying tickets and tickets and tickets. So I told him, listen, what you're going to do, give the title over to Antonio. I'll pay for your car, and you get this.
So you bought the car. Are you saying you bought the car for $400?
Pretty much what I'm telling him is that if you want to get rid of the car, give it to Antonio the title. And that's exactly what we told him. So he gave the title to Antonio as long as he redeems the car. At this point, he said himself, I want nothing. I remember those words very clearly from his face.
Yeah, I know, but then you sell a car and you make some money. You don't hand it to you for $400.
Nah, I didn't make any money on this. I just gave him the title.
No, not you, him. You're suggesting to me that he wanted to wash his hands of the car.
Pretty much.
And therefore, hold on, Antonio.
Yeah. Right.
He didn't want the car anymore, and that's fine if he doesn't want to own the car anymore. But he's saying that you were buying it from him for $1,600.
There's no way in the world I'm going to pay $1,600 for that car. There's just no way. I mean, the car's torn up.
Who has the car?
I sold the car.
Oh, who?
He gave me the money. I went to the car to the pound. I took the car home and I sold it for the same amount of money like for $450. I sold it.
You sold it for $450?
For $450, yeah. We didn't make no money on the car. Because the money was the same amount of money that he gave me to go get the car. That's the same money that went back.
Did you pocket it or did you give it to him?
We split it.
You split it.
So
you never kept the car?
No.
I was more like the spiritual leader in this situation.
Okay, but Mr. Cult leader, bad idea. Look at you now. Look at you now.
He was the financier, that's all.
Okay, so
I was going with the ideas.
And the only money he made was the exact money he had put out so that he wouldn't have to pay tickets later.
Exactly.
Because when you lose a car, they don't forgive the tickets.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I told him.
The whole thing was, Your Honor, we said, Jackson, you're going to lose the car. They're going to sell the car to pay for the tickets.
Okay, I got you. Take it.
If I don't rescue his car...
So wouldn't you sell your used car to your boss?
Yeah, I probably would.
Would you really?
Yeah, why not? I mean...
Can I just ask, are you unemployed?
Yes.
I was just guessing. Going inside the courtroom.
Did he ever say to you, you owe me money for the car that you...
At some point, he began to hint. Not
What
right
would he
away.
say?
Not
What
right
would he
away.
say?
Hey, Steve, I was thinking about this for a couple of days now. I think something wrong went on over here. So
I think I got shysted in the deal somewhere along there.
So I began, listen, Jackson, I can explain to you again. If I don't rescue your car, the city will take in your car anyway, and you still got to pay the tickets. So what do you want me to do? I had to do what you asked me to do, which is to help you, and I rescued your car. And the story.
You should have stayed out of the whole thing.
Exactly. But even today, he still can come to my house and still work for me.
He's a wonder. He hates you. He's suing you. He feels like you did something. When was the last time you saw him?
William Jackson, he's
asking him, man.
He's special to the family.
What? He's mentioned that.
My kids love him. My kids love him.
Yeah, he said in the complaint that he saw your kids grow up.
Yeah. My kids are still asking for him.
Are they really?
Where's Jackson? Because,
Mr. Jackson, let me ask you this. Did you continue to work for him even though you never... Was there ever a check?
No, I don't recall a check at all. I would not give a check in a situation like this.
Well, I mean, that's kind of important. Was there ever a $1,600 check?
No.
Do you have any proof of the $1,600 check that you claim he wrote for you that, quote, bounced?
No, I just handed it back to him because I told him it was impossible.
Do you have any
to
proof
cash
that you
it.
went to the check cashing place and that you tried to cash it and that that they wouldn't cash it?
They might have a copy of it in down on Broadway. I don't know.
I'm not going to Broadway to find it for you.
But
Did you?
apparently,
I would never buy a car that old for
when
that
when
much.
that car was spoken about being sold, his worker told me he had sold my car for $800. Now I don't know nothing about the 400 or whatever they just said was taken.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you continue to work for him after that? Odd jobs, day jobs?
I did 2 weeks, and that's it. And I spoke to him about the problem later on. I told him it wasn't fair, but I gave him enough of time to let it solve in his brain capacity so that he can figure out what is the right thing to do.
That pretty much does it, doesn't it? Unless you folks had an agreement beforehand for him to buy the car and he breached that agreement, I cannot order him to pay $1,600 for that car. The last things you just said happen to very much support the version that these two have of what it is that happened. You know, that you felt later that maybe something wasn't right with this and I gave him a chance to do the right thing and blah, 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 blah. Based on what I'm listening to, I'm sorry, but my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you, Honor.
And so the plaintiff comes out on the losing end of this decision from Judge Milian. Come in a little closer here. What's your feeling about the outcome here, Mr. Jackson?
Well, I don't feel too well about the outcome, but because I spoke to the.
You think they pulled a fast one on you?
Yeah, I
somehow?
think so.
Well, what did they do?
So.
What do you think?
Kind of sham me because I'm the type I don't really look at value that much when it comes down to friendship.
You done with that him and that family?
Not really. He's not a bad guy, but I'm saying something just went wrong
He
right
shamed
now.
you. He shamed you.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Right down this way. All right. Well, he feels like you stuck it to him. You know that.
You know, that's how everybody feels in these situations. But, you know, in reality, this guy's a good guy. He's delusional about how reality takes place when you have a car, especially when you have a car in New York City. It takes a lot of responsibility, and he doesn't seem to understand that. But anyway, he's still part of the family. He can come back anytime he wants, and my kids will miss him.
Yeah, will he be back? I don't know.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
What about the spiritual leader?
I'm gonna try to give him. I'm gonna try to give him a right back right now if you can.
Really?
Yeah. That's how you know.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, this one's short and sweet. Never sign over title to a car until you are paid in full.